Live from the Ken and Valerie Baker studio at WHYY, this is Studio 2.
On Thursday, April 16th, welcome, friends, on Into the Program. I'm Cherry Gregg.
And I'm Kevin McCory, in for Avi Wolfman-Aaron.
So I'm really excited about today.
I can tell.
Can you tell? I mean, look at all the greenery around us. If you're watching on YouTube, hello. This happens every year. The sun comes out, we get a warm day or a series of days, and suddenly we're all thinking about our gardens, which I am. And so today we're getting our hands dirty with one of our favorite annual conversations, how to have a greener thumb in our region right now. And our guest is Sally McCabe, Associate Director of Community Education at the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society. She spent 40 years helping people grow everything from flowers to food. And people may not know this, I am a gardener.
Yeah.
I love my rooftop garden. And so when Sally comes in to Studio 2, I get myself all the way together, Kevin. So,
yeah, that's exciting. I'm excited for today's show. I'm going to step out for that main segment. Just be you and Sally. My backyard's a mess right now. This weekend is the weekend to start kicking spring into shape, I think.
And that's why Sally's here, to kick all of us into shape, okay? And by the way, we want to hear from you. This is your chance to get your questions in. What's on your mind going into this gardening season? And what questions do you have for our expert? This is your chance to talk about pests, what works with the soil. Should you be putting those coffee grinds in there? What does that do? You know, should you plant from seed? Should you have starts? What should you do? The number to call is 888-477-9499. The email is studio2@whyy.org. And for our YouTube streamers and our Facebook streamers, you can put your comments in the chat. And it's still Thursday, which means DJ of the day.
All right, so get your DJ of the day picks in on the theme of gardening, of nature, of planting, growth, whatever you want. Throw those picks in.
Flowers.
While Cherry's doing the conversation today, I'll be filtering through what people suggest, and I'll be picking the winner.
This is EP Kevin. So we keep saying EP Kevin.
Yeah.
This is the DJ.
Wow.
So you've been outed, okay? People didn't know you're the guy.
All right.
So but get those in by 12:30. Again, studio2@whyy.org. This is a very fruitful, subject.
I think it'll be a fun one for people.
Yeah.
First, our trio, though, of local news stories. A momentous story here, number one. The cruise ship era is coming back to Philadelphia. So we've talked about this as a thing that was going to happen. Well, it's happening. The cruise ship actually came up the Delaware today and will start its first voyage down to the Caribbean, to Bermuda, this afternoon at 4 o'clock.
Wow.
So this is the Norwegian Jewel. That's the name of the ship, and the site is right by the Philadelphia International Airport, right? This new Philiport terminal, and it's so momentous that there's going to be a lot of dignitaries down there today. Governor Shapiro, Mayor Sherrell Parker, they're going to mark the occasion. We haven't had cruises out of Philadelphia in more than 15 years.
Long
so,
time.
like I said, these trips are going to start to the Caribbean. Some will go up to Halifax, and then in the fall, you're going to have more regular trips to Canada, to New England. The ship holds about 2,300 people.
Big ship, yeah.
And, officials say resurgence of the industry is expected to create more than 2,000 new jobs, boost Pennsylvania's economy by about $300 million. And we mentioned that port is, so once this really gets going, you're going to be, you go there and that's how you check in and get on the boat. But the harsh winter, they say, delayed that. So it's actually like you go to a hotel, you check in, and you get on a shuttle bus from the hotel to the boat. But eventually it's going to be like you go to the port and you go through the process there.
Yeah, and that it's on Hog Island. That terminal should hopefully be complete in the coming months, and it'll be really, really cool. I know a lot of people who are set to embark on a cruise out of Philadelphia in the coming months. People were booking this last year. I know actual people leaving. I think there's a group going out of Philly in May. It's a group of folks leaving from the Philly port. But this is definitely a moment for the city. I mean, we've been trying to redefine the city a little bit more, not just eds and meds anymore. We're building ships now. Now we got a cruise port.
Cruises and bruises.
Something like that. We're doing that. And boosters really want to make the city a gateway for global travel, and the return of the cruise port sort of gets us one step closer. So, and I got to mention, that not all feedback has been positive because people do say that cruise ships do have an environmental impact. But, you know, there's a lot of excitement about this new cruise ship. So welcome, you know, Norwegian Jewel to Philadelphia.
Yeah. Story number 2.
Yes, SEPTA announced this week that FIFA fans, tourists, and the public will be able to pay the standard $2.90 fare to take the Broad Street line to the link for World Cup matches, unlike fans who visit some other major cities. Boston, for example, Kevin, is raising its $20 fare to $80 for a trip from Boston to Foxborough Stadium there. And New Jersey Transit will be charging a $100 fare to take transit from New York's Penn Station to matches at the MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. That's a 700% price hike, according to The Athletic. SEPTA said on Wednesday that it is opting out of this premium pricing and keeping its fares the same. And this has people asking, like, why? Why is New Jersey, for example, choosing to price gouge fans? Well, the Inquirer reached out to Governor Mikey Sherrill's office posing that question, and a spokesperson said, hey, look, FIFA is making $11 billion off of World Cup games. They're charging fans up to $10,000 for one ticket to the final. They claim it'll cost NJ Transit 4 times the normal price to move folks to and from the World Cup matches. And since FIFA is not reimbursing or cost sharing, they have to charge it to the fans. So to me, it says, you know what, is SEPTA doing enough? Because we've had a lot of struggles, Kevin, when it comes to money for our mass transit. And it's like, is SEPTA getting taken for a ride by FIFA, or is SEPTA really about the people and making sure that things stay affordable in the city?
Yeah, and just the question of, like, in the process of getting the World Cup to come here, maybe you might have hoped that part of the agreement that got reached was that, okay, there's going to be additional costs on these transit agencies to provide the service. Can we somehow build that in there so that you don't have to have a 700% increase? So it's I feel like it's kind of sus to see that,
definitely sus.
You know, New Jersey Transit has to charge all this more money to be able to make up these costs, and I'm happy, you know, for people in our region that SEPTA is not doing that. But to your point, is that just adding more cost onto a system that has already been belabored?
And then it also makes me wonder, like, politically, how is this going to look in Harrisburg when SEPTA is again, and our politicians go up to Harrisburg and they're like, give us money for SEPTA. And they're like, you had a chance to make money and you didn't do it. But at the same time, we have a lot of folks who can't afford a lot of things. And we have all these taxes and prices are going up. So a lot of people are cheering SEPTA for keeping the price the same. Anyway. Third story.
Story number 3. You've heard of the sound of Philadelphia, but how about the sound of Delco?
Ooh.
Well, one local record shop thinks it's a genre all its own and has created a new album dedicated to capturing the unique voices of Delaware County. Greatest Hits Records and Books in Media is behind this effort and is soon to release a 92-track album. It's a mix of field recordings and scripted skits with hits including 2 women discover they have the same friend from a mutual parish, and guy stuck holding the door at WHYY. And then there's also the classics, Patty's Hair Salon Complaint.
Well, one side is up and one side's down. I don't believe I asked for it like that, and that's what I am dealing with right now. Is there any way that somebody in that store could get back to me?
Plus, you've got Delco mom yells at her kid during a Little League game.
Michael Patrick Donnelly, get over here right now. If you're not paying attention, I'm not giving you money for a soft pretzel. Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
The record is set to be released on May 15th, and you can pre-order it now on Greatest Hits website. So Cherry, I'm curious, what would you want on your audio soundtrack of the region?
Well, I got to have an Eagles chant in there. You cannot have Philly region and not have that. I would love the sounds of people mad at the Sixers. That would make me feel very much at home here in Philly. You got to have some people talking about Johns, and you got to throw some U's and some pocketbooks in there.
Okay, I got a couple. Okay. All right. So I got to do Roxborough Lady hammered at 8:30 a.m. singing Paul McCartney on the 27 bus.
Okay.
This is all based on personal experience.
All right.
You got it. She's slurring it. Jet
I have
You know
never.
that song?
Okay, go
All
right ahead.
Lawn crest guy running the neighborhood 4th of July fireworks display. Who's excited?
Okay.
So I got some nice families. Yeah, we're gonna the fireworks go boom. Everything's gonna be beautiful.
Okay,
Okay,
go right
so
ahead.
you got that guy, and then personal favorite, Northeast Philly teenager telling his old Italian dad to go to bed. So you got the dad on the
how
couch.
would that
It
go?
goes like this: Dad, you're falling asleep on the couch again. You got to go to bed. No, I'm up. No, Dad, go to bed. Dad, go to bed. I'm wide awake.
And this is because Kevin McCory is really from Philly, right? That's how you know.
So that's my soundtrack.
That's your soundtrack, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And so another thing I love is gardening.
Yeah.
And so
Looking forward to this.
We're gonna be talking about that. Sally McCabe from Pennsylvania Horticultural Society will be here. We already got a couple callers. We'll get to you. Email studio2@whyy.org, and we'll be right back.
And we are back here in Pledge Central now, Cherry. This is WHYY Spring Membership Campaign, where we're asking you to become a member of WHYY. Don't take for granted public media. Support independent media and become a member of WHYY. Do it now at whyy.org/radio or call 1-888-345-9499. The goal this hour, Cherry, is 15 gifts. We can do that.
I definitely feel like we could do that, and we're going to sweeten the deal, because if you make a contribution today, you get a chance to be one of 2 winners of a 1-year dual membership to Longwood Gardens. I mean, that's pretty cool. We have full contest rules on the support page at whyy.org. But we're talking about gardening today on Studio
like
2.
we got that planned.
And it's like Kismet. It's like we're all in alignment here at WHYY. And so, I just love greenery. We have greenery in the studio. And so this is one of the many topics that we cover on Studio 2. It's one of the many things that we highlight on public media. And so if this is something that's valuable to you, if you love WHYY like I do, I'm a member of WHYY, as you are, Kevin. You can log on to whyy.org/radio and donate today. And you never know, you might just get lucky.
And think about everything we did on the show this week, Cherry. So we were live from Penn Law School on Monday, talking about the history of the U.S. Supreme Court. Then here we are on Tuesday, just going through all the biggest stories in the world, in the country, talking about Iran, talking about Congress, etc. Yesterday we're talking age gap romances. And today we're talking about gardening. You only get that sort of like cornucopia of programming that's going to be able to go
a good word,
deep.
Cornucopia.
Yeah, thank you.
Programming.
To go deep on all those topics with public media. You're just not going to find commercial media giving the time and attention to that range of topics and being able to go in depth on them and have an hour to be able to incorporate community conversation and phone calls and everything that Studio 2 does each and every day. So we're proud to be able to have a program like this where we can engage the region in a conversation. Sometimes it's a serious conversation. Sometimes, like today, it's more on the light side. We like to be able to do both. And we hope you don't take that for granted. So become a member now at whyy.org/radio or call 1-888-345-9499.
Yeah, and we have 15 gifts. That's our hourly goal. We have 3 gifts thus far. And in just a couple minutes we've been on, we had 3 people donate. So we appreciate you, and we say thank you. I want to shout out a couple people. Heidi from Ballard Kenwood says, WHYY will always be my go-to for comprehensive news, culture, education, entertainment, and a general sense of well-being. Thank you for all you do. We appreciate you, Heidi, for all you do. And then Kathy from Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania says, here's an extra bump in addition to my monthly donations. Kathy, girl, we appreciate you. And by the way, that is something that you can do if you're already a member of WHYY and you really like Longwood Gardens and you're feeling lucky today because you want to take in some breathtaking blooms, have a peaceful walk, and be inspired by one of the region's most beautiful natural spaces. Just say, you know what, I feel lucky today. I'm going to do a little bump. You can do that by logging onto whyy.org/radio.
Yeah, so many reasons to give. You think about all the programming that WHYY provides around the clock. Morning edition, BBC 1A into Studio 2, going through the afternoon with fresh air and all things considered. Just, rich programming at every hour of the day that's different, that's interesting, that's about what's the most important thing happening in the world, in the country, and in this region. We can't do it, though, without support from listeners. Listeners becoming members is the way this place was built. It was the way NPR was built. And we're only going to be able to get stronger in the future if more listeners become members. So please, we urge you to do it now at WHYY.org/radio.
Yeah, and we're a community, and that's what I love about WHYY, and that's what I love about public media generally. Earlier this week, we had the Lifelong Learning Awards, and so many of our members supported that and came here. They sat and heard a great conversation between Terry Gross and Malala Yousafzai. It was a great, people were riveted.
Yeah.
Okay, the room was packed. But we're also in libraries. We're having community conversations. We were at Penn Law School, like you said, this week. We're going to be doing a debate for the 3rd Congressional District, but none of this could happen without you. And so we ask for your support today. If this is something that you value, shows like Studio 2, all things considered, all the things that we do, we ask that you log on to WHYY.org/radio today. And thank you so much. And welcome back to Studio 2 here on WHYY. I'm Cherry Gregg. Spring has finally sprung, and that means it's planting season. But for new gardeners, sometimes it's hard to know where to begin, especially if you're living in a city with limited space and light to grow. And even for those seasoned green thumbs, climate change and new pests can throw some curveballs. So today we're digging into all things horticulture. And with me in our studio is a legend in the Philly horticultural space. Sally McCabe has spent 50 years teaching people how to nurture plants. She is now the Associate Director of Community Education at the Philadelphia Horticultural Society. Pennsylvania. I'm so sorry. Pennsylvania Horticultural Society. Sally, welcome back to Studio 2.
It's nice to be back.
And I was joking when you walked in the door. This means I need to get myself and my garden all together. Okay, when
I walk in the door, it means I need to get myself.
And we all need to get it together.
It's time.
And by the way, to our listeners who are hoping to get it together as well, we have our questions of the day. What's on your mind going into this gardening season, and what questions do you have for our expert, Sally McCabe, who's sitting right here? The number to call is 888-477-9499. The email is studio2@whyy.org. And for our YouTube and Facebook streamers, you can drop your comments and questions in the chat. And so, Sally, the sun finally out, and we're talking about how to have a greener thumb. So where do we usually start? What are we supposed to be thinking about right now? Is it just soil time, cleaning up the mess?
It's weather time.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy out there.
It is.
It is April, and it's 90 degrees today, and it's going to be freezing on
Next
Monday
week.
night.
I
mean,
know.
we're liable to have a frost Monday night. But according to history, we're supposed to have frosts all the way up until maybe May 1.
Mm-hmm. And so this is not the time to sort of put anything out there, but what are we supposed to be doing? Are we growing?
There's so much we could be doing. No.
Get us, kick us in gear.
All right. New gardeners get the idea that you plant everything on Mother's Day because that's the last guaranteed frost in Philly and the area. And then you stop gardening at Halloween because that's the first time it freezes in the fall. And so you get 6 months of solid gardening. But the rest of us who've been doing this for a while know that we can be gardening all the way back in January, February. To build up to April, we could have a full garden going.
right now.
Right now.
With some of the things that can tolerate the cold.
Because there's so many crops that tolerate the cold. So you got your greens, most of your greens, you've got your root crops. So the cabbage family, all of those things can be in the ground already.
Yeah. And
Because they are okay with the day length and they're okay with the weather, and they don't care how warm the soil is just yet.
okay, so I'm a 6-month gardener. You know, I'm getting my soil
that's
ready.
okay.
We're getting our
won't make too
soil
much fun of
ready.
you.
But if you're trying to prepare the foundation for your garden right now, let's say, because Kevin McCory, he was in here, he says his backyard looks a little crazy right now. And everybody's finally going outside and they're looking around and stuff has been blowing around and all kinds of stuff.
Everything is
So we
got to
get it together.
Everything is so beautiful. And some of the stuff is really early and some of the stuff is really late because this weather's, it's insane.
Yeah. And so how do we get our soil prepared?
You hop in a time machine and you go back to the fall and you put lots of organic matter in, lots of compost. If we don't have a time machine, now is the time. It's almost time to start raking up. People go crazy the first warm day and they rake everything, all the leaves out of their beds, and they do all of that. And that's kind of detrimental to the beneficial insects that are living in the ground right now and waiting for spring. So hold off as long as you can stand it before you rake out your beds. But as far as the soil goes, we can be adding compost anytime, any time of the year. So if you got compost now and you're ready to go, add some compost now.
Yeah. And if you're doing raised beds or pots, how do you prepare that soil?
Raised beds, you're still adding compost because what you're trying to do is to feed the critters that are in the soil. In your pots outside, you're trying to feed the critters that are in the soil. In your pots inside, you don't want any critters.
No, you don't want critters in the house.
Yeah.
So you can do the same thing regardless if it's pots, raised beds, or...
Yeah, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to enrich the top layer of soil.
Getting ready. I'm going to bring in a caller because we do have people waiting on the line. We have Sue from Princeton on the line. Sue, you're on Studio 2. What's your question or comment for Sally McCabe?
Question is, how do I get rid of voles? They appeared last year and I didn't think much of them, and they ate my sweet potatoes, and they're just wreaking havoc. They've killed an apple tree. And then the other is, what vegetables can I plant while I'm getting rid of the voles?
Okay. Thank you. That's Sue from Princeton. So first of all, for people who don't know what a vole is, what is it?
It's kind of it's a rodent, but it's sort of halfway between a mole and a mouse.
And so they call it a vole.
It's a vole. Well, no, I mean, it is its own separate little thing.
Okay.
But they're like moles. They're like mice that live underground. They eat the roots of things.
Oh, my goodness.
What is the best way to get rid of them? I don't have an issue with them because there's so many cats in my neighborhood.
So get a cat?
Do I have a good answer? Well, then you have to deal with what cats do in the garden. So it's like everything is a toss-up. But if you've got like a major infestation of voles, then something weird is going on. And I don't have an easy answer for that one.
Yeah. Does she need to get an exterminator or something?
I would, I don't even know who would be the best person to call for that.
Okay. Sorry, Sue.
You know what?
From Princeton.
Going to send you to the library.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
No, the Horticultural Society has a library, and it's Ask a Gardener.
Yes.
At penhort.org. So send a note and have the volunteers there research it.
I love that. And our question for you, by the way, today, our listeners, is what's on your mind going into gardening season, and what questions do you have for our expert? Our number to call is 888-477-9499. The email is studio2@whyy.org. And by the way,
I said she had a second question.
Yeah.
What can you be planting? Plant leaf crops. If you're worried about them burrowing and eating your root crops, then plant some plant greens.
Yeah. And a question about seeds versus starts. Like, when should you is now a time to sort of get your seedlings going in the house?
People start seedlings inside because it gives them more control. Can you plant things from seed outside? Absolutely. Can you be doing that already? You could have been doing that in January, February. You could have been putting seeds in the ground outside, or at least in containers outside. But people that are starting things indoors, because it gives you more control over the baby plants, and then you have a specific plant to put in a specific place. When it's warm enough, you can get like a 6-week jump on the season.
Yeah.
So people make their own decisions about what to start indoors, what they're going to buy at a nursery, what they're going to get from their friends, and what they're going to put.
Do you have
seeds in the ground.
Sally, do you have a rule of thumb? Are there certain things that you think do better if you just buy the start versus seeds, especially for people who might be a little clumsy with their gardening?
I would say starting things, your own stuff from seed. Like I said, it's a control issue. But you can really choose a lot of different varieties. More varieties are available by, let's just say, tomatoes.
Yeah.
So many more varieties of tomatoes are available from seed for you to start. If you go to the box stores,
There's only certain varieties.
There's only certain varieties. So, and those aren't even necessarily the best ones for Pennsylvania. They're just the known names.
Yeah, the ones that
So you make your own choices, but as a beginning gardener, the easiest thing to do is just to go and buy.
Yeah. And Jocelyn asks, how do I keep the squirrels away? I've tried the fence, planting.
You hit me with the voles, the squirrels, and the cats will be next.
Yeah.
And
is there anything you can do? Not really. Yeah.
That's okay for the radio people. That I just made a really ugly face. For squirrels, squirrels are squirrels, and squirrels will be squirrels.
Yeah.
If you can,
we don't want to hurt them.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, goodness.
By the end of the summer, we're going to be eating those suckers.
My goodness. Oh, my goodness.
We fed them so well.
Yeah.
Do I have a good answer for squirrels? No. Exclusion, wire.
Yeah.
Cages, things like that. Not to keep the squirrels in, but to keep the squirrels out.
To keep the squirrels out. Yeah, I
have more groundhog issues than squirrel issues. And I took old dog crates, and I erect the dog crates over my beds.
Yeah.
And to keep the...
So I have a rooftop garden with pots, and what I've done is, no, not squirrels, but I have birds. Birds come, and so I put like netting, because the birds were coming and they were picking different things.
Do you catch the birds in the netting?
No, they didn't yet.
I
had like one of the foil things. I put a fake owl and a whole bunch of different things.
Action in the garden.
Yeah.
Any kind of action. So a dog, a cat,
a windmill,
something moving, a windmill.
Yeah.
People have CDs, the shiny things, the foil, the fake snakes, the fake hawks. Anything that you can do that either moves or looks like a danger.
Yeah.
Will slow down, nothing is going to keep all of the squirrels out all of the time. Or the voles, or the cats.
Oh, yeah.
Or the groundhogs.
Let's bring in another caller. We have Joseph from Narberth on the line. Joseph, you're on Studio 2. What's your question or comment for Sally McCabe?
Hi, thanks for having this show. I've got an apple tree that it's maybe 10 years old, 8 years old. We get great apples, but I've been getting worms. And I know that there's something I can do early in the spring, but I don't know what to spray on it. I don't want to spray chemicals, and I've tried I tried neem oil, and that didn't work. It seemed to hurt the tree.
A lot of that is timing rather than the usual standby is a February spray of dormant oil. But the worms that you get, that's a when is somebody going to call with an answer I can just definitively give?
Sorry, I thought,
because the spraying that needs to happen has to happen before the flowers. And as far as the worms go, is this just this past year that you started getting the worms?
No, they've gotten worse the last 2 years, really.
Wow, that's a new thing.
Well, no, it's not a new thing. It's just more we get.
Yeah, thank you, Joseph from Narberth.
Mold and mildewy kind of things, fungusy things. So I'm just trying to think of when. Again, send a note to the library.
Yeah, the library.
That's a tough one. Ask a gardener, all one word, at penhort.org.
penhort.org, and that's going to be where folks go. And so let me bring in another caller. We have Bishop's Weed. Can you talk about that?
Oh, Lord. Yes, nothing. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're bringing Emily from Plymouth Meeting on the line. Emily, you're on Studio 2. What's your question or comment for Sally McCabe?
Thanks. If you know what bishop weed is or goutweed, my garden is full of it. And I can't get rid of it. I've cut it down. I've put cardboard on top. I've mulched it, and it just grazes its ugly head. What can I do?
Well, actually, it's got a very pretty head. It gets lovely leaves. It's in the umbel family. It's like Queen Anne's lace, like parsley. It gets this beautiful umbrella, upside down umbrella of white flowers, and it smells really good. And if you're brave, you can eat it because it's kind of parsley-y in that family. But here's how it is evolved. It is it spreads its roots just under the surface. And then 6 inches down, it's insidious. It sets spreads another net. So there's, unless you're going to take out all of the soil and take out every minuscule drop of the
It's going to keep going.
It's going to keep going. And what I have done, and because I have it now, and I can clock it, it spreads 6 feet every year. And it's now over into the neighbor's yard, and I feel so responsible because I'm sure that somehow I inadvertently brought it in. But what I'm trying to do is to make sure that I'm incorporating into the landscape other plants that can fight it.
Yeah.
At least for our part of the year.
So what are some examples of what can fight it?
Right now, my yard, it started out all daffodils and tulips because they're bulbs. They don't care, and they come in at a different time of year than that. It says agapodium, for those who don't know it as bishopweed. They come up, and I've got a beautiful landscape of daffodils and tulips, and that goes on for a month. Now, just this week, my lunaria, the money plant, which is a brilliant magenta purple, I have been throwing the seeds because that seems to fight with it.
So there you go. So you can put that in there to fight.
But that
with
takes 2 years to bloom. So get started.
now.
The first year it'll put up little rosettes, and then the second year and right now it is in full glory up in Oak Lane. Wow. It is beautiful.
So Emily, you heard that?
So you've got to find other things that will fight it, and they're very few, and they have to be really vigorous.
Yeah.
Because it's fighting the ivy and everything. Everybody knows you can't kill ivy, and yet it is giving the ivy a run for its money.
Yeah. Well, if you have questions today, what's on your mind going into gardening season? What questions do you have for our expert, Sally McCabe? You can give us a call, 888-477-9499. The email is studio2@whyy.org. And for our streamers on Facebook or YouTube, you can drop a comment in the chat. Look-a-Bear88 says, why can't I grow all the easy vegetables and fruits like cucumbers, beans, and potatoes? I managed to grow and keep trees alive and native plants. I'm back to the drawing board. What could I be doing wrong?
If you're the soil for trees and the soil for vegetables is way different. It's way different. The woodies like more of a fungus based microflora and fauna in the soil, whereas the vegetables like a more bacterial based. Not that what that means is that you need to add more compost to your vegetable garden than you would for trees and shrubs. Okay. You would put more woody leaf mold, stuff like that, for your trees as a mulch, whereas you would add compost to your vegetable gardens as a mulch.
Quick follow-up for you, Sally McCabe, because if you had, let's say you had an infection, a fungal infection on one of your fruit trees or your vines, and maybe your cucumbers didn't do well because they had some kind of fungus or something growing up there, can you, if you do pots or raised beds, do you need to do something to make sure that bed doesn't have this for the next year?
Most of that stuff comes in airborne or splashed up.
Okay.
If it's a fungal issue, it's usually, and also because you've got, you need more airflow. So cucumbers will get a mildew sometimes. Zucchini will get, the squashes will get mildew because they need more of it. They're too crowded and they need more airflow.
And so
growing things taller
Yeah.
or on trellises, stuff like that, tends to give you more air so that you've got less.
But does it contaminate the soil at all? Do you need to do something every year?
It's a fungus that grows in the soil is generally a good fungus.
Okay.
And you'll see mats of white things growing through like roots.
Yeah.
And that's more of a fungus.
And that's it.
Those are the good guys.
Those are the good guys.
It's the fungus that gets on your leaves that is like there's nothing fighting it. Within the soil, the diversity keeps everything pretty much at bay. Keeps a lot of balance as long as you keep feeding it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm a strong proponent of feeding it.
Feeding the soil.
Yeah, research is saying now maybe we feeding it compost, not feeding it chemicals. Research is starting to say maybe we're over composting, but the jury is still out on that.
Jury's still out. Let's bring in another caller. We have Tom from Bucks County on the line. Tom, you're on Studio 2. What's your question or comment for Sally McCabe?
Oh, hi, Sally. Thanks for taking my call, by the way. I love your show and listen whenever I can. My question is manure. I've been reading that you should really question the farmer that you get your manure from as to whether or not he has sprayed his hay with any contaminants or pesticides or whatever. Ultimately, the cow digests that, and then it comes out as manure and can be harmful to your soil. Well, you can ask the farmer that, but when you buy it in a store, bagged already, how can I be sure that that's not contaminated? I read the ingredients, but of course, I don't really know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Okay, that's another
Thanks,
tough
Tom,
one.
from Bucks
Is somebody
County.
going to call and just brag about their garden?
Yeah.
So I don't have to say gloom and doom.
If you want to brag,
call
in. Go ahead.
The whole issue of manure, it's all you're following the stream. It's like upstream. What did they feed the cattle? What did the cattle poop? What did they medicate the cattle with, or the pigs or the horses? What did they feed them? How did they medicate them? Where did that manure go? What was that manure exposed to? What was the feed exposed to? What were the medicines exposed to? All the way up the line, it is practically impossible to track them, which is why, I would say, which is why it's great to generate your own manure. I don't mean people poop. I mean,
I was about
like bunnies
that's
and
that's not good. Yeah,
rabbits is about the cleanest. I've relied for years on guinea pig.
That seems like a lot of work, though, to be gathering your own poop, though.
Yeah. So buying it from the store, you're taking your chances.
Sorry.
But if you are concerned about particularly weed killers in the hay that the horse ate, that the horse pooped, that you bought from the store, then introduce it to your compost or to a compost situation first
to see how it.
And if you're worried, plant some beans in it.
Yeah.
Because you'll get really quick results from beans or radishes. You'll get, like, within a week, you'll see if the plants are at all
tainted. Yeah,
because if there's weed killer in the manure or there's weed killer in the compost that you're getting from wherever, it's going to show up pretty fast in either beans or radishes.
So you got that, Tom from Bucks County?
So do a test run.
Yeah, do a test run. Tom from Bucks County. Beans will help you sort it all out. In many ways.
Yes, beans.
In many ways, yes to beans. By the way, Maureen on YouTube and Facebook says, how does one care for a honeysuckle vine? I have one from last year and it is not blooming.
Okay, it depends on what kind it is. I mean, if it's the Japanese honeysuckle, that's the more invasive kind that we are going to be smelling any minute now.
Yeah.
Because it is absolutely heavenly and absolutely deadly.
I love the smell of it. Yeah.
Gotta love it. Then you just stand back from it. If it's not blooming, that's weird.
Okay.
But it's not blooming. It shouldn't be blooming yet.
Okay.
So if it's not blooming yet,
It's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. It's just we're so faked out by this 90 degrees that we think everything should already be summer. And it's not. It's still spring.
Yeah. And so we do have some times. And so you're saying that right now.
But is this a cultivated variety that you bought special that's not blooming?
Yeah. And if you have any follow-up to that, you can put the comments there and we'll circle back to you, Sally, on there. Because of climate change, and we're seeing warmer springs and we're getting this heat wave. We had some record temperatures where we're hitting like 90 degrees. Oh my goodness. What does this do to the soil? What does this do to our plants? Does it throw us a curveball?
Oh, it throws a curveball to everything because the insects are waking up earlier because the soil's warmer. But the plants that the things that they eat might not necessarily be there yet. I mean, I came home from the flower show, so that was the first week of March.
Yeah.
Came home from the flower show with blooming plants because they had been forced for the show. I showed up in my driveway and bees came from everywhere desperately seeking my blooming flowers because there was not enough outside for them
because they're hungry and
they're hungry.
They've been awakened too early
and they woke up too early. So that's one thing. The other thing is that bugs that usually die off over the winter, so they aren't a problem here, are not dying off over the winter anymore because we don't have the sustained cold. Although we have that 120-degree week that always zings us.
Yeah.
So that we're getting insect load here that we never saw before.
Yeah. So this could cause us a problem in the weeks to come. Let's bring in another caller. We have Bill from Reading on the line. Bill, you're on Studio 2. What's your question or comment for Sally McCabe? I don't hear.
For about 25 years. And I've tried everything, covering them in the wintertime.
And Bill, we didn't hear you for a second, so could you start over?
Bet you're talking figs, aren't you?
I'm talking figs.
Yeah.
I've been trying to grow a fig tree for about 25 years. I've tried taking them indoors. I've tried covering them outdoors. My wife worked at Longwood Gardens. They cut them down to the ground. I've done everything, and every one of them died. 3 years ago, we bought a house that had been empty for about 2 years. It had a fig tree in it, and nobody had touched it for 2 years, and we had thousands of figs, and I thought, I've got the answer. Just ignore it. So the first year, we had all those figs. Last season, we had nothing. We had a lot of dried twigs, and we had some green, but we had leaves, but no figs. What do I do to grow figs around here?
Most of the figs...
Thanks, Bill from Reading. Yeah.
Figs that people are used to growing here, brown turkeys, because they're the best. The problem is that they're iffy in a zone 6, zone 7 situation, and that's us. Because, for instance, I had a brown turkey lived up against the house on the south side of the house, and we were picking from the second-story window. We would climb out the window to pick the figs. The next year, died to the ground. And it took 8 years to get back up. Last year, I had figs on it again. This year, I'm still watching it. I'm not sure it's still alive. So, my suggestion, I got myself a Chicago Hardy. The figs are smaller. They're not as mouth-wateringly wonderful, but there's 3 times as many of them, and they're lots more reliable. And they grow on, the figs will grow on new wood.
So, and what's that again? Say it one more time.
Chicago Hardy.
Chicago Hardy.
There
so you heard that, Bill,
so
from
it was one of those ones that was developed in Chicago, where it's a lot colder than us. So finding different varieties of figs that you can not have to fuss with.
Yeah. So Chicago Hardy for you, Bill from Reading. Thank you so much for that question. We have a YouTuber who is asking, I am allergic to mosquitoes and most insects, but I am also allergic to bug spray. That's a double allergy right there. I use lemongrass oil. How do I grow lemongrass so I can put it in their yard? I grow lemongrass on my roof.
Yeah. You just get babies and plant them.
Yeah.
The problem is that it doesn't survive the winter here.
So you have to
so
do
you
it
need
every
to either
year.
bring it in or replant it.
Yeah, and I grow lemongrass on my rooftop. I put it in a pot and it grows and it keeps the mosquitoes from...
So how do you harvest it?
What do you mean?
You just cut it? And,
I cut it. Yeah.
Cut it and use it?
I cut it
so
and
I
use
don't know. I don't know what the process is for making lemongrass oil.
Mm-hmm.
But there's enough oil in the plant. When I go outside, I grab a handful of mint or a handful of basil, and I just rub it
on your skin.
On my skin, and it lasts 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and then you got to do it again. So make sure you grow lots of mint.
Yeah, and let's bring another caller in. We have Celine from Wynwood on the line. Celine, you're on Studio 2. What's your question or comment for Sally McCabe?
Hi. I've got 3 quick things regarding the discussion before. If I was late to the game, starting seeds indoors, like I haven't done it yet, is it okay to plant the seeds outside now, or should I just forget that and go with starter plants like tomatoes and cucumbers?
It depends on what it is. If you're talking tomatoes, or you're talking, okay, you're talking tomatoes. Okay.
Well, tomatoes, cucumbers, like I know there's certain things
cucumbers are so
now,
much
like
happier in the ground, growing out of from seed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then what's your second question? And we're getting close to the end of the show. So what's your second question?
So it's not too late to start seeds.
No, it's never too late.
Oh, great. So there's been a lot of burn around, like in rhododendrons and aucuba and things like that, mountain skip laurels. And should I cut all those burn leaves off, or should I do anything about them? I mean, they look unsightly, but I don't know if it's a good idea to cut them off.
It depends on how much unsightly you can stand. I mean, they look scorched. They got tender. They got cold, they froze, the sun hit them. For any of a number of different reasons, they look bad. If you're worried about the health of the plant, it's not unless everything is scorched, the whole thing is scorched, then don't worry about it.
It's just
unless
like the external leaves.
Yeah, I mean, if it really bothers you, cut them off. But just know that in cutting them off, you could be potentially cutting off what hasn't bloomed yet.
Yeah. And thank you so much, Celine from Wynwood. Celine got a couple questions in for you, Sally.
She did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got the dead stuff. What was the other? Oh, we answered.
Yeah. And Ed says, I have a Granny Smith apple tree. It does produce apples, but many are either deformed or have black punctures on the skin of the apples. What can be causing this, and what can I do to prevent this from happening? I live in central New Jersey.
Okay. If you just have the one tree and you're trying to, I would set myself up with a spring spray schedule with dormant oil, because the black spots could be a fungus, and a dormant oil with a you know what? I am not going to give you a specific answer for that, because I'm not qualified to do that.
Yeah.
But because Granny Smith is something that really isn't happy here. And So I mean,
so give them the email to ask.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Ask a gardener at penhort.org.
And so as we get ready to wrap up this segment, I just, what should people be thinking about? I mean, we have, as far as timing, we have just a few more weeks before Mother's Day, where everything should be kind of put in the ground. Are there any major tips, if you were saying 3 things that people should do to get prepared? What should they be doing?
3 things. Learn your timing. You've got cool season crops that can still go in. You've got warm season crops that should wait until the soil is warm enough, which means it doesn't get below 55 at night.
Okay.
We should visit other gardeners to get inspired and to ask them questions. When you see something that you like, find out more about it.
Yeah.
And watch for workshops, because there is so much going on in the Philadelphia area. I mean, PHS has a workshop coming up on the 13th on managing rainwater in your garden. And you can find that on our website, phsonline.org. That's so simple.
Yeah. And so we're going to leave it there.
Yeah.
Sally McCabe, thank you so much for being here. Sally McCabe has spent 50 years teaching people how to nurture plants. She is now the Associate Director of Community Education at the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society. I appreciate you being here, Sally.
It's such a pleasure.
And whenever I see you, I know it's time to get myself together. I'm getting it together. And by the way, it is now time to reveal our Studio 2 DJ of the Day song selection. I'll hit it.
Tiptoe through the window, that was new. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me.
All right, well, that is Tiptoe Through the Tulips by Tiny Tim from 1968. The song was originally written in 1929, but became a novelty hit when Tiny Tim sang it on the 60s and 70s sketch comedy show Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. So there you go, a little flashback there. I know. This is, yeah. So thank you so much, Sally McCabe. Also, thank you to our producers, Debbie Builder and Hazel Mae Bryan. Mike Schiffler is our visual producer. Al Banks and Tina Calicay engineered today's show. Our executive producer and DJ of the day picker is Kevin McCory. Joan Isabella is WHYY's audio general manager. From Studio 2 here at WHYY in Philadelphia, I'm Cherry Gregg. Thank you so much for joining us today.
And you're listening to WHYY here during Studio 2. We're back in Pledge Central, just like that. It's the spring membership campaign for WHYY. Kevin McCory along with Cherry Gregg asking for your support for great shows like Studio 2. Show your support at WHYY.org/radio. The goal this hour, Cherry, was 15. We've got 10 in.
Yeah, and we just went up to 11. So thank you to the 11 people who made a donation today. Because you stepped up to the plate, guess what? You get to enter to win a chance to be one of 2 people who get a 1-year dual membership to Longwood Gardens. We had to sweeten the pot for this membership drive. All the full contest rules are on our support page at WHYY.org. And, you know, it just fits with our theme today, which was all about gardening. With this warm weather surge we're seeing, everybody's like rolling up their sleeves and like you, looking in the backyard and thinking to themselves, I got a lot to get done. And so, you know, maybe go to Longwood Gardens if you're lucky enough to win and get inspired. But if this is something that is valuable to you, if you love the programming here, Studio 2, Fresh Air, Morning Edition, All Things Considered, Here and Now, the 1A, so many shows on WHYY. If it's valuable to you, you can log on to WHYY.org/radio and help support us.
And I hit you with a little Tiny Tim there at the end, Cherry.
It's before my time.
You know, I know you got that on your pump up playlist, I bet.
Yeah, I that is something. Sometimes we go way back here, and I don't know. So, you know, but
Bernie B, he wrote in. I thought, you know, it was appropriate.
Okay, Bernie.
Let's go, Bernie B.
Okay, Bernie.
I got a shout out too.
I learn new things every day.
You know, you guys were talking about the whole thing with the squirrels with Sally, right? There was another listener. I don't know the veracity of this, but she said what she's doing to keep the squirrels away is cow's blood. She said you can buy cow's blood and sprinkle it around your crops, your plants, and the squirrels don't like that. So that's that listener's solution.
Y'all, see, the thing is, I'm a gardener in the city.
Yeah.
So like all this, when they start talking about collecting your own manure and going out there with the cow's blood, that's a little much for me. Yeah. Like I'm not
baby steps.
I'm not on.
You'll
I'm
get,
not
you'll
there
get
yet.
The cow's blood.
I'm not, but that's how we go. Here, when we have our experts on, we can go from the very beginners. I wouldn't say I'm a beginner. I'm like a baby intermediary. Yeah. I'm not, but that's expert level when you start getting cow's blood and collecting your own rabbit manure. Okay, that's next level. But we meet you where you are, and if this is something that is valuable to you, and you know, and you love the fact that you can just call in and ask your questions, and that's what we try to open the phone lines and allow people to do on Studio 2. If this is valuable to you, you can log on to WHYY.org/radio. We're up to 12 gifts this hour.
There's levels to it, just like there's levels to giving, right? Whatever level you want to come in at, and you're comfortable with, that's all welcome. And of course, those of us who can afford to give, it's incumbent upon us to do so because there's so many people in our region we know who can't.
Yeah.
But WHYY, of course, is committed to providing our service to everyone, free of charge, no paywall. It's there on the radio. It's there online. It's there on your smartphone for you. It's there on your television. We're out in your community at community events. We're everywhere we can be in all the different media forms, etc., because we want to be able to stimulate this region with great conversation and information and entertainment and news and journalism, etc. We're only able to do any of it because of listeners over time and viewers who became members. So please do it now at 1-888-345-9499 or quick and easy to do online, Sherry, at whyy.org/radio.
Yes, and we're up to 13 gifts, which means we only need to get 2 more gifts this hour to reach our goal of 15 gifts for the noon hour. And by the way, when you log on to whyy.org/radio, you get to put a comment in there, just like all our folks. David from Devon, Pennsylvania says, I did jury duty on Monday. I donated to WHYY Radio today. I have done my civic duty for the week. Thank you so much, David. You know, stepping up and doing that. Michael from Wayne said, sending a one-time donation in addition to my sustaining membership. Thanks for all the great programming. Michael from Wayne, thank you so much for your investment in WHYY. And the thing about investing in WHYY and your public media station, it pays dividends long-term for the next generation. And we ask that you do that at whyy.org/radio. We're up to 14. We only need 1 more gift this hour.
So many reasons to give. You know the value that WHYY provides in this region, not just for you, but for the entire region. Think about the kids programming on PBS. Think about Morning Edition, All Things Considered, Fresh Air, Studio 2, the great WHYY local newsroom. There's so many reasons to give. We just hope you don't take it for granted. Please become a member right now. Do it at whyy.org/radio. And thank you so much for being a Studio 2 listener. And we appreciate you.